Travis Wayne Goodsell, we have a major scandal going on in the state of Utah to protect the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. If you remember, I would occasionally come out and talk about how church attendance is a super spreader. I've been doing videos about the Sunday school lessons each week so that you don't have to go to church to save your lives. Because apparently the church doesn't want to save your life. They want to spread misinformation and disinformation about a certain thing that's going around that's murdering people. And with this third wave, for which Utah or YouTube was ordered by the church to shut down Travis Wayne Goodsell, as YouTube outright lied on my video, The False Christ of the Great and Abominable Church. Had nothing to do with the subject that they claimed I was misinforming you about. They just outright banned me from doing videos on Travis Wayne Goodsell because they wanted me silenced. That's how corrupt this whole thing is that's going on, that's designed to murder you. As I'm trying to save your life and expose the corruption and fraud of the church that is going on here. And so, at the beginning of 2021, I gave you exclusive reporting because of an email that got forwarded to me. The email involved a communication from the director or CEO of the Department of Mental Health at the University of Utah, where he talks about causing a tsunami of cases with the governor of Utah and hoping to have it spread throughout the rest of this nation to try to get others involved as well. But he was going to do it with Utah to increase the number of patients in his bed. Well, that became the second wave of this killer that's going all around the world. I'm the one who exposed that. And so with the third wave in the middle of a tetrad, and it's interesting, the Greek letter for Omega is the sun symbol, which originally was the Egyptian symbol, but then Omega got changed in Koine Greek, as I'm diverting and coding it for you, because YouTube are evil. They're purposely harming you, their audience, to protect the church. And so I'm having to use code. And so it became the sunstone symbol for Omega instead. The two mountain peaks for David with the sun Amun rising or setting, depending on whether it's a rising or setting sun at the horizon. And so the moon symbol is Omicron, and we're in a tetrad of moons and solar eclipses, but it's often associated with moons, and so Omicron is the moon symbol. So anyway, going back to what I'm talking about, this third wave, it was kicking ass. Literally. Children were dropping like flies because church is a super spreader. Kids go to church, they don't go to school. Super spreader. It was a pattern that we were able to witness on the stats. And I've been telling you, I've been keeping track of the stats. all this. Started a new one for 2022. Because if I don't do it, I can't rely on the Salt Lake Tribune coming out today with their article exposing the scandal, because it's gotten so bad of a cover-up that now other people are going, wait a minute, no, this can't be right. Something's weird here. Yeah, I already knew that was weird because I've been keeping track of the stats. We were having case numbers, new case numbers, in the 10,000s with the third wave. Like I said, it was kicking our butts big time. The elderly had almost gotten secured again until this third wave. Then all of a sudden we're seeing the number of the caseworkers for the elderly skyrocketing in number of new cases for them. And what used to be yellow on their color chart for the elderly was now turning into orange, and now it's red for over 10 different places now. And orange goes on for page after page after page. That's the next stage below, 5 to 11 cases. 11 to 20 is the red. And so both the kids, which just took off in the chart that they have for the kids, they break it down into the 3 age categories for the children. And sure enough, after church, when they would be tested for having symptoms, boom, yeah. And I've been telling you, church is a super spreader. Don't go to church. Stay away from church. Protect your lives. Save yourselves. Don't go to church. YouTube silenced me on Travis Wayne Goodsell when I talked about the false Christ of the Great and Abominable Church, because they don't care about your lives. And so after I got silenced, wouldn't you know it, there was a cover-up that then began to take place. And it happened after the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of January, because the number of new cases dropped by almost 20,000. We were skyrocketing, out of control, and they just sent the kids back to school. We can confirm this, because I remember the kids got pulled from school, and I was thinking, oh, okay, it's going down because they're keeping the kids still from school. I thought I just saw a news report saying they're sending them back to school. That's weird. School. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Superintendent's newsletter, January 20th, 2022. We look forward to welcoming all of our students back to in-person school on Monday, January 24th. Right there. slcschools.org. News, details, board, post. Superintendent's newsletter, January 20th, 2022. Salt Lake, ... They're covering up the stats of the kids, whereas the elderly are keeping it at a high rate than normal. That's what this third wave has demonstrated in the stats. And so the kids are back in school, but we're still going down. And yes, there's a steep drop for the kids section. in all three grade level, or all three age levels. And so, yeah, we're back into the realm after, for last week, in the 3000s. And so for the weekend, 5,500. 5,500? And the question is not whether or not it actually is infecting more or less people, but the problem is that we had hundreds of new cases, 102, 113, 112, 113 for the 4th through the 7th of January. And then it escalated up from the 11th to the 14th, 179, 149, 147, 140. These are hospitalizations. This was when the hospitals were saying, uh-oh, we're now overfilled to capacity. People who have other problems, yeah, you aren't going to get them taken care of. We're overfilled now. And then the long weekend, or we had 19, 20, and 21, 153, 189, 179. And so here we are, a drop in new cases, but the hospitalizations are 162, 169, 140, 160. It's going up for hospitalizations as the case numbers are dropping. This was already suspicious to me. But I was thinking, okay, good. But I'm not seeing anybody here changing their habits. This is an anomaly. And it's now confirmed as a cover-up scandal by our government to protect the church. To show that church is not the super spreader. And it is. Because the numbers are lying to us. They're still up high. And so we do not have accurate stats now. Salt Lake Tribune confirms that today by Aaron Alberti, 3 hours ago, according to this thing, which may be 4-ish. I don't know. I already did Sunday's lesson for the 13th, which is an hour and 15 minutes long, and then saw this news report and interrupted the production of that video for this video that will jump ahead of it for you. So you might not see the Sunday school lesson until tomorrow morning, assuming I still have the internet. And so this last week, the hospitalizations were 134, 134, 130, 114. And over the weekend, 189. So hospitalizations are still high. But the numbers, you know, are back averaging to the 3,000s again. 2,845, 3,609, 3,482, 2,808. But we still have high hospitalizations. And the deaths. During the week of the 54 percentage for the week, with the long weekend added into it, 28 deaths for the long weekend, 18, 22, and 11. That's horrible. Nobody should be dying on this. And so, for the past week, which we were at 39%, we hadn't been that low since the first week of January, which was 38%. The last week of February was 24%. See how Omicron was just kicking our butts? So last week, 11, 20, 12, 10, and 13. Deaths are also still at a high number with hospitalizations. And so, what's going on? Yeah, Aaron's suspicious too, and is aware of a cover-up that is going on. The news report title, Utah reports 5,500 new COVID cases, but newly discovered test inaccuracies suggest undercounting. Newly discovered test inaccuracies, huh? We're back to that scandal again, huh? That was our problem in the beginning. Governor Herbert purchased through this one company to do the testing, and the testing proved to be a bogus company and gave us false information. And so there's a lot of people that died with the thing that were not considered having the thing, and so our death numbers are way low than what they should be, as the elderly throughout the nation were underreported, for example. And the elderly caseworkers, if I didn't tell you that, yeah, they were getting slammed with the number of cases for caseworkers at the elderly homes. That's on this page. So the first week of January, it was 43, 63, 59, 57. And then boom, the 11th through the 14th, 104, 105, 129, 93. Then the next week, 194, 125, and then 64. And then the last week in January, 209, 69, but there was some problems. There was a weirdness going on with the reporting of that day that caused the whole thing to be weird. Somebody screwed up on that day. But nonetheless, 147 and then 29. And then for this last week, see, the elderly are still skyrocketing. And it's because the healthcare workers for those facilities brought it into them. Just like Tonga got it from first responders. We're supposed to be helping save lives, not murdering people. And so for this past week, 77, 76, 41, and 29 again. So it is dropping, but the elderly are still on the rise. And she doesn't cover that. Yeah. So it's statewide. Vaccinated number, yeah. She doesn't go into the elderly or the children to see what I saw. Let's see if I can find where she concludes that something weird is going on. Okay. There were 709 patients hospitalized as of Monday, down 73 from Friday, but a far higher than record before January, 606 in December 2020. State officials last month announced that the data error had caused inaccuracies in hospital counts for months. So they're saying the high numbers were the false numbers? I think the doctors in the hospitals would dispute that, significantly undercounting them in recent weeks. Really? That's how they're justifying it. Oh, we overcounted, so now we're undercounting. Oh my God. I heard Putin today talking at the press conference with Macron, the French president, and Putin says, I'm allowed to move my troops wherever I want to within our boundaries. And I move them, and the West thinks I'm going to attack Ukraine. And so they arm Ukraine and move in troops. And this is aggression against Russia. Oh my God. Putin thinks he's getting away with that, huh? I'm not attacking Ukraine. I'm just moving my troops around. All around Ukraine. I can do that. I can put them wherever I want. And so, yeah, you can see that Governor Cox's office is back to scandal again. This time to cover up, rather than to cause purposely a spread and escalation, so that hospitalizations in mental homes can increase. Dear God. Why is nobody locking these criminals up? It doesn't matter if he's the governor. Lock him up. Oh, he's Mormon. Right, he has to protect the church and cover up that church is still the super spreader. So, even last week, yeah, because the first was Tuesday, and so Wednesday, it still showed church as a super spreader. Even with the altered stats, it's still showing church as the super spreader, as the kids are back in school. But they're tampering with the kids. That seems to be where the screw up is. So, dear God, how can we allow this to happen? We have YouTube thinking they're the moral authority when they're acting against our interests, purposely seeking to harm us for protecting the church, as Governor Cox is purposely harming us in order to protect the church, as the church is purposely harming us, claiming, oh, we're just following the government regulations. When are you guys going to wake up and stop protecting the church?